Chapter 1, March 1977. On August 9, 1969, at 5:10 a.m., a 22-year-old woman gave birth to a baby at the Orange Memorial Regional Medical Center, located in Orlando, Florida. She decided to place the baby into adoption and signed a release of her parental rights to the state of Florida. 3 days after giving birth, she left the hospital, and the only thing she left behind was her baby and her name, Mary Alice Martin. I have come to believe in the idea that all children are uncultivated fields of endless possibilities. They can blossom into the efforts invested in them as children by others. These efforts influence their worldviews and equip them for adventures ahead of them in life. Their early development comes from what they see, hear, and are exposed to. Unfortunately, many young men cannot look back to find any positive role models that helped prepare them for what they will encounter in the maze of life. Despite it all, I believe every young man can become a productive human being with morals, values, and integrity, if provided the proper tools. What a man becomes is determined by the efforts, or lack thereof, of parents, guardians, and role models who invested in them. I am of the mindset everyone, regardless of race, color, or religion, inherits some responsibility in the upbringing of our youth. Early on, I realized that I was taught lessons and formed traits, both good and bad, from the people around me. Throughout my journey, I have come to many forks in the road, but it was the seeds of good attributes and values planted within me as a child that kept me on the straight and narrow. Those same seeds gave me the courage to turn back when I was headed down the road of self-destruction. Those same attributes have remained a part of my subconscious mind throughout my early years and still serve as the moral compass that guides me today. During my teenage years, I faced many obstacles, but managed to escape devastation before disaster struck. My early years were filled with many lessons provided by my mother and others who entered my life, and has left me with a sense of obligation to pass these lessons down to my children. And I hope one day they do the same and pass them on to their children as well. When I was very young, my mother was a devout Baptist, and because of it, spirituality has always played a vital role in my life. Early on, religion was an overwhelming concept for me. In my household, for example, regardless of what cards life may have dealt me during the week, church on Sunday morning was mandatory. If you wanted to find me on a Sunday morning, you could find me in church. Sunday morning worship taught me dedication, which became a value I strongly believe in. As I got older, my mother changed her denomination to Pentecostal or Holiness, depending on what part of the United States you grew up in. I am not advocating any denomination or religion. However, I personally think having a connection to some form of a faith-based organization can serve as a foundation for strength when times get hard, because they will, and there is no escaping that. Despite my spiritual upbringing, I was not immune from trouble or the temptation that came along with it. I longed for a father figure or male role model I could look up to, but my desire eluded me because my adoptive parents were divorced long before my adoption was finalized, and unfortunately, I have no memory of them ever together as a couple. Deep down, I knew that something about our household was different, and I dared to say odd. Most of the kids I knew at the time didn't have fathers in the household as well. My mother kept me involved in church activities, such as